Happy Sabbath. You're not going to believe this, but I know you will. Sit down, and if you are struggling this morning, this could be what you need to hear. Because you know how God, He brings you here for a reason, and you may be struggling in this like I am this morning, and then the Lord just said, Starry, sit down. I need to give you the answer. I've got a lot going on. I was just in Florida, and now I am in Chattanooga visiting for a while. Then I'm going to go back to Florida. There's a lot of reasons why this is happening. There's an explosive ministry that is in the works right now that I have been asked to be part of. I'm very, very excited, but in the mix of all of that, there's a lot of issues. In fact, I was out hiking the other day in Florida, the last day I was there, and I met a guy, and he was so interesting. He was taking pictures of a little pine cone, and I'm like, oh, that's what I do. We had a really great conversation. He said, you know what? Because I said, where do you live? He says, well, he says, this is interesting because people think I'm homeless. But he says, I don't tell them I'm homeless. He says, I tell them I'm houseless because I don't have a home like the conventional person. And he says, so I guess I'm homeless, but I'm really just houseless because this is my house. And I looked at him, I'm like, wow, this is a man after my heart because he just spoke the truth about my life. People look at me and they think, yeah, well, technically I am homeless. I am homeless, okay? I'm homeless. I don't have a home. But it's really that I'm houseless because the Lord has given me everything that I need. He's provided my home for me. He's provided me places to lay my head and continue to witness for him and do my ministry work. And he always provides. And it's crazy. It's crazy. But even with that said, it's a very, the way that I'm living, it takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of faith. And I'll be honest, sometimes, even though I know God's will for my life, I get in the way. I become my own stumbling block. I start overthinking, and I start thinking, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. I need to get this. I need to go there. I need to, and this is what I've been doing for about a week and a half. And I have this ministry opportunity that has just come up, and it's great because there's all this opportunity, and they really like my feedback. And then I start thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. And then I start comparing myself. And then I'm like, oh, they've got these people over here, these great speakers coming in. And then who am I? Who am I? I'm nobody. I am nobody. And I'm not good enough. And how can I really be part of this minute? I mean, and some of it is Satan, of course, because, he knows that his time is short and we are working it. And you may feel that in your life right now. God is transitioning you or bringing you out of something and you're finally seeing the light. But then now, it seems like things are piling up and, and you're taking it on again. You're taking it on again. Why are you taking it on again? And then Satan moves in because Satan's always crouching at the door and he's always waiting to move in. And we can't allow him. But that's what I was feeling this morning. And I was just writing in my journal, and I'm just like, oh, I don't even remember what I wrote. But all I know is after I got done writing it, I opened up my devotion because this is God. And God's like, I've got something for you. But look at what I was writing. Wow, 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 wow. Do you see that? I don't know. Wow. Because as soon as I opened up my devotion, the answer was right there. And I was like, oh, man. All I got to do is sit and listen. And it was called Turning Back or Walking with Jesus. You got to listen to this. Because Jesus doesn't want you turning back. And many of us are to the point right now where we could possibly turn back. We possibly could turn back. Because the warfare is so in our face right now. And Jesus doesn't want you turning back. He wants you to sit down right now and listen. So I'm going to read this, okay? It's really good. I opened up look at what it said. Can you see that? Turning back or walking with Jesus. And it has to do with John 6:6-7. Do you also want to go away? And when I read that, I thought, oh, wow, do I also want to go away? I never feel like I could walk away from Jesus. But I sometimes feel like he could walk away from me because he's got to get tired of me. And so that's why I really wanted to read this to you this morning, because I know there's somebody out there that this is going to touch. It says, what a penetrating question. Our Lord's words often hit home for us when he speaks in the simplest way. And that's how great. I mean, everything is simple with the Lord. Nothing is complicated. If it's complicated, it's not from the Lord. Like, really. In spite of the fact that we know who Jesus is, he asks, do you also want to go away? We must continually maintain an adventurous attitude toward him, despite any potential personal risk. And I'm always excited for the Lord. I'm always excited. And it is kind of like an adventure for the Lord. That's why I go out and I witness for the Lord, and I just can't contain myself, like wherever I go. But when I slip up, when I feel distant, when I feel unworthy, that starts going away. I don't know if it goes away for you, but I feel like I'm not worthy enough to even share. So listen to this. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked with him no more. That's John 6:66. They turned back from walking with Jesus, not into sin. Listen to this, not into sin, but away from him. Many people today are pouring their lives, listen to this, out and working for Jesus Christ, but are not really walking with him. Wow. One thing God constantly requires of us is oneness with Jesus Christ. Really think about that. You could be doing all the work in the world for the Lord, but are you really one with him? Are you really walking with him? And so I guess that's what I forget. That's what the Lord needed to tell me, because he's like, that's great, Stacy, that you're witnessing. That's great that you're handing out books. That's great that you're praying with people. But are you walking with me? Are you being one with me? Yeah, are you one with me? It just sounds like such a simple concept, but it's time maybe that we reevaluate. Okay, so it says, after being set apart through sanctification, we should discipline our life spiritually to maintain this intimate oneness. When God gives you a clear determination of his will for you, all your striving to maintain that relationship by some particular method is completely unnecessary. Listen to that, because that hit home. Completely unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Once you know God's will, you just need to walk in it. There's no other stuff that comes with it. I pick up the stuff along the way. I like to pick up the trinkets along the way and put them in my backpack and really make it heavy. And we don't need to do that. We just need to walk in his will. This is so it's just so perfectly clear. All that is required is to live. Listen to this. All that's required is to live your life with God. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start again. All that is required is to live a natural life of absolute dependence on Jesus Christ. Did you get that? All we need to do is be dependent. That's it. That's it. Never try to live your life with God in any other way than his way. And his way means absolute devotion to him. Ooh, boy, right? Showing no concern for the uncertainties that lie ahead is the secret of walking with Jesus. Oh, wow. So there's a mouthful right there. You're listening, right? You want to know the secret of walking with Jesus? Total dependence on him. Total dependence. And showing no concern for the uncertainties that lie ahead. That's the secret. So when he shows you the will, you just walk in it. You don't walk looking back. You don't walk being distracted side by side. You don't walk by going 10 steps ahead and trying to pave the way, making plans, your plans. You just walk with him in total dependence. And it is a different way to walk, but it works. It works. You wonder why your prayers aren't working? You wonder why there's a lot of spiritual warfare? You wonder why you get into those deep, dark, despondent areas? It is because you're not totally surrendering and depending yourself, to putting your dependence on the yoke of Christ. And I get that way sometimes too. But very quickly, he reroutes me. Very quickly. And then it said, listen, this is wonderful. Peter saw in Jesus only someone who could minister salvation to him and to the world. But our Lord wants us to be fellow laborers with him. Oh, I need that. I need that because, of course, I think I'm it. I'm laboring I got to go out and I got to evangelize and I got to witness. I got to give out books and tracts and it's me, 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 me. And Jesus is like, hang on, Starry, it's not you. You got to be a co-laborer. I'm with you on this. Don't think that you got to head it all up. Wow. And then in verse 70, Jesus lovingly reminded Peter that he was chosen to go with him. We're chosen to go with God. We're chosen to go with him. Isn't that great? He chose us. Makes us pretty special. And then each of us must answer this question for ourselves and no one else. And no one else. Do you also want to go away? Do you? You want to turn your back? Or do you want to keep walking with Jesus this morning? Up to you.